Okay, so what I've done here is, I told you I had these in 1 pound packages, so to make sure I keep my weights right, I went ahead and recounted all the meat. So my main meat for this feeding is beef. I have a little bit of pork in there, so since these are in 1 pound packages already ground, I just counted them up and then I enter them in my computer into our spreadsheet file. I did the same with the pork. Now for our organ meats, we get them from one of our ranchers in 5 pound packages, so that makes it real easy. So I've got 15 pounds, which is what I need, and then I will go ahead and make sure that's updated in my spreadsheet file. I've already pulled out my eggs, so I've got 3 dozen plus 2 more in here, so I'm going to put 38 eggs, which I put on my spreadsheet file. And then so we'll start here, and then once we get all this put in the container, we'll then move on to the fruits and our vegetables. Okay, so go ahead and pan down here, Sue. So I've pulled out all of my ground meats, and then I put them into this large mixing container. And so what I did is I put the majority of the one meat that I have for this particular feeding, which is beef, and it went in the bottom. And then so I had these 1 pound packages, and I didn't pack them in there. What I did is I kind of crisscrossed them so that you leave a little gap in between them, because it's going to make it a lot easier when you mix. If you just pack them in there, it's going to be really hard to mix. So I got my beef in there, then I had, in this particular feeding, I'm going to have a little bit of pork. So I took that out and ground it up and spread it across the top. And then I took my 15 pounds of ground organs, which for this particular feeding I got a combination of liver, heart, and kidney, and then I sprinkled them on the top. And then any other ground meats that I've got, like my chicken, if I've got any other liver that's not ground up, I would grind that, and then I would load these in on top. So the way I do it is I tend to take the meat, the largest meat grouping that I have. So in this case I've got about 50 pounds of beef, and I would start in the bottom. If you're, some feedings I may do like 40 or 50 pounds of bison, so that would go in first, and then the other meats would go on top. So whatever most I have, I put that in the bottom, just because for me it just seems to be easiest to mix it that way. Okay, so go ahead and pan down here, Sue. So as you can see, I had pulled the meat out. I had a chair here to sit, went into the mixing container. I had my trash here, so it was just kind of all of an easy system. So now I've got these empty containers without meat, and what I like to do is I like to clean as I go. So I'm going to go ahead and clean these, and then I'll do a real quick pass on cleaning the floor to make sure I've got any splatters cleaned up. I just find for me it's just easier to clean as I go.